Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to introduce Prithvi, who is currently doing his masters at the RWTH Aachen University in Germany. Welcome to my channel, Anna. I think it's glad that you have joined with us today. To start with the video, so can you please introduce yourself?
Uh, First of all, thank you, Atik, for inviting me. So, coming to my introduction, my name is Prithvi. I'm basically from Hyderabad, but for the first 7 years of my life, I stayed in Pune, and then until my intermediate, I stayed at Hyderabad. And after my intermediate, I joined Tripitadium Kanchipuram, and then right after my bachelor's, I got posted at L&T Tech Services. And after 2 years, I joined for my master's in Germany at RWTH Aachen. I'm currently pursuing robotic systems engineering, and I've recently started my master thesis at Procter and Gamble. So basically, I have been shifting all my life. And
Mean like you did job in L&T. What type of job you were doing in L&T? Is it a design job or what type of job it was?
my job at L&T was related to CAD modeling, CAD design, and more about factory planning. So it was much more related to industrial engineering. And but I had an interest in robotics right from my bachelor's, and so I thought, after I finished 2 years of my work experience, I thought this was the right time to shift and go to start my masters, and so I chose robotics over there in Germany.
So why did you particularly choose Germany? Do you have anything like related to your field, robotics and all? Is it very specialized in that field?
Like I would be frank with you, robotics is kind of good in Germany and as well as USA. And initially, I was actually planning to go to USA, but then I was trying to weigh the pros and cons. And the main problem with USA that what I felt was the visa issue. Like even though I tried to get a huge loan, join USA, and like start earning as soon as possible, but the visa issue will still remain a problem. And if you look at the long term, green card is a much bigger issue. And like while I was researching about different countries, I found out that like in USA, you don't personally apply your visa; your company sponsors you. So you basically have no control. And in general, I thought like the work culture would be a little better in Germany. One con in Germany is the language. Obviously, you need to learn a new language, and like until you learn it properly, it kind of creates a barrier between you and the locals. Although immigrants, like other immigrants, are very much fluent in English. Like when I was applying, there were a few classmates of mine, Sai Charan and Avinash, who
Okay.
were
Yeah, I
studying in
know
Germany.
them.
Yeah. And so I was basically calling them. And I think from Netherlands, I called Sampath as well. He was my classmate. Some of our seniors. I think he was 3 years. I think he's Gautam Raj. He was a 3 year senior of mine, and I contacted many people, like too many people, and I was like asking how to apply, how is the situation over the job prospects and everything.
Yeah, coming to like process of selection, can you elaborate like what will be the process of selection, how you need to apply this application process and all?
Generally, whenever you apply outside India, you need a language certificate, an English language certificate, especially if your master's course is in English. TOEFL or IELTS, that works well. Anyone is sufficient. And after that, in Germany, most of the universities don't ask GRE, but I've recently heard that many people are accepting those courses, and it has become a compulsory prerequisite. So I would say it is better to give the GRE exam as well. After these exams, like one thing to keep in mind is that these exams like TOEFL and GRE, they are just a prerequisite. So they won't be the main criteria of selection.
So
What?
sorry to interrupt you. So I want to know that IELTS is compulsory for even German country. I heard that it is useful for US or UK, like Gulf countries and all. I don't know whether you need to clear IELTS for Germany.
Generally, you need to clear either one of the subject, either IELTS or TOEFL. Like you don't need both of them. And what I heard is that TOEFL was somewhat preferred by the US universities, and IELTS was somewhat related to Europe. But again, specific requirements vary with each university. So it's better to check with the university before you plan to give an exam.
So for this RWTH University, you have cleared IELTS. They need IELTS requirement.
No, generally they had a requirement of either TOEFL or IELTS, and I had given TOEFL, so that was sufficient.
Okay. So may I know the like score how much you need to clear to get admitted in RWTH?
The TOEFL score is out of 120, and I would say any score about above 90 is enough. And IELTS, I think minimum should be around 6.5,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Like normally for me
And
also it's around 6.5 here. The university is at the top range. Maybe they are expecting 7 or above 7. So normally it will be 6.5.
like,
Yeah, yeah, you can continue.
yeah, I would like to add, like, these exams are just an indication that you will be able to understand the lectures and courses that will be taught during a master's course. So they are just a prerequisite. They are not the main criteria of selection.
Yeah, this is for GRE, I guess. GRE, you will be having engineering courses and all.
Yeah.
Like, what is the time duration you have started the application process? Like, students say that you need to start at least 1 year back. So, when did you start your application process?
Yeah, like mine was a bit earlier. I gave my GRE exam right after my bachelor's graduation. So that was in 2017, August. Yeah, the thing with L&T Tech Services was that I had a 2-year bond.
Yeah, I know.
So I knew that for this 2 years, I won't be going anywhere. And since then, like I was planning properly, and I gave my TOEFL exam in April 2018. I started my university research from August 2018, and since then, and like obviously, my first preference was naturally US, and until October, I kept searching, and I found out that like I did not get any specific robotics programs over there. What they had suggested is for me to join a mechanical engineering master's course and do a project on robotics over there. That's what many people had suggested. But I personally did not want to go in core mechanical. And in Germany and other European countries like Netherlands and Sweden, I found out very specific courses, and they suited me a lot. Like after thinking a lot, I thought, I mean, I found Germany to be a better option due to low fees, and also Germany has like a few more, I mean, a lot more companies compared to the rest of the European countries. So it seemed to be a better option. And the thing is, like, I kept applying from October the January to January 2019. I kept applying, and I received an admit in April, and my joining was in October 2019. Like apart from the admission process, the visa process was much more stressful and a bit long as well, because I had to apply for a loan, and the issue is back then I was in Chennai working, but I had to apply the loan in Hyderabad, and I applied for my visa from Chennai embassy, since Chennai had a German embassy. So like I had to go back and forth to Hyderabad and Chennai many times. And yeah, in October I joined.
So, I
I
think
came to Germany.
for you it was a total 1 year long from October to October, I think. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. But generally, I took a very long time. But I would say that it doesn't take this much time though. Probably proper planning of. But I would suggest to take at least 1 year. Like if you are
mhm.
planning to join this year October, I would suggest you to start like working on it at least from the last year of October, so that like you can complete your exams on time, and you have enough time to research about the countries that you would be joining, and the work life over there, expenses. You can have an idea, talk with different people, and plan your choice.
So normally what I know is that I have applied for PhD, so there will be some differences between masters and PhD. So I have to go through some advisor. So initially I need to mail some advisor, then go through application process. He will be guiding. So for masters, so once you start the application, will there be any interview or something like that, or like approach any advisor initially before application? Is there any process like that?
I don't think there's such a process for universities in Germany. I heard that there was a similar process in Canada, though. Universities in Canada, where you need to approach an advisor, and only once he accepts you, you will be able to put an application. But yeah, in Germany, it's not that way in most of the universities, as far as I know. But in some like big universities like TU Munich,
Hmm.
I heard that they have an interview process after the application, and
Okay.
based on that interview, they selected. But TU Munich is an exception based on compared to other universities because no other university takes an interview before accepting you as a master's student.
So for Germany, you will be having some language requirement also, like you need to clear German. So where did you clear this examination? Can you like just guide us?
I think there's a common misperception though. Like if you are studying in a master's course in Germany, and if the master's course is taught in English, then there's actually no German requirement. German requirement is basically for you to live your life here, to properly mingle with the local population, and like carry on your daily life a bit smoothly. And when I came to Germany for the first time, I just had A1 level.
Hmm.
And after coming over here, I found out that like they don't really care about the Goethe Institute certificates, and they would prefer certificates from their institutes in Germany, like coaching institutes in Germany. So yeah, but yeah, like if you are planning to join industry, then it is better to have at least a level of B1. And generally, most students, what they do after coming to Germany, they join a language course as well. And generally, you start applying for companies after 1.5 year. And I think that period is like good enough to improve your German skills. And also,
Uh,
you will be living over here, so it would be a bit easier.
yeah, yeah. Then coming to this fees, scholarship, and all, like, can you explain regarding like how much you need to pay? Like, do you need to take any loan before going there?
Like there are certain universities that take fees, and mine was one of them. At least my course was one of them. I had received 5 admits from different universities in Germany, and like RWTH was the only one which was top ranking, especially from I mean my course. I mean like my course belongs to Faculty of Mechanical Engineering in RWTH, and their ranking was like pretty good worldwide. It was like around top 50, top 20, I guess, back then.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so my course was around 18,000 euros for 2 years, which would be around 15 lakhs, I guess. And coming to living expenses, I think yearly take around, it would be around 8,500 euros. So you could make the calculation how it might take. And like one good thing about Germany is that like once you finish your 2 years period, if you want to extend your semester, you don't need to pay the whole semester fee again. You need to pay just 500 euros, which would be the administrative fee, and like you can keep extending your stay over here in the university.
Okay, like I feel that this semester will be used for projects or thesis submission and all, or else
Yeah.
you can do some courses during when you extend this semester and all.
Yeah. The thing over here is that, like at least in Germany, you don't have any mid exams. You only have the final exam,
Okay.
and like once you clear the final exam, you're done. And the thing is, generally, what I've heard is that most of the people they don't finish their course within 2 years, and so they take the time, and even after joining a company, they still do their courses, they complete the exams, and once everything is done, they then graduate. Even I don't have much information about it, but you
Hmm.
could go into the website called DAAD,
Hmm.
DAAD.org, and there you can find like useful information. And basically, those scholarships would depend mainly on your GPA from bachelor's,
Okay.
and maybe some relevant work experience as well. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
And apart from that, it doesn't really care about anything else. Like it doesn't really care if you have a holistic experience, many extracurricular activities. That's how it is.
So I have seen this DAD scholarship a lot. There will be a lot of advertisements in internet and all. So I was curious regarding this. Like, do you have any information that this how much did DAD scholarship will cover? Will it cover only tuition fee, accommodation, or traveling? Like, do you have any idea regarding this?
Yeah, I have general there are separate several packages on that. Like certain packages could be like waiving your tuition fee, and certain packages are like providing you a stipend, monthly stipend. And yeah, the thing is like if you don't want to join a university with a fee, you could like join other universities which are free. Free in the sense like you pay only around 300 to 800 euros per semester, which is still quite less. And yeah, so the scholarships are mostly in providing you stipend, and they provide somewhere between 450 to 800 euros, which is like pretty good enough, like for your monthly expenses. And if suppose, and I think you were talking about the fee structure, living
Yeah,
expenses.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, if suppose you don't receive any scholarship, then you could think that depending on the city that you live in, your general monthly expenses could be somewhere between 650 to 900 euros, depending on the standard of living that you want.
So, like, how is your accommodation there? Like, you are getting some like 1 BHK flat or like a studio apartment. Like, what kind of life you are living there? I want to know this.
When I joined, like I live in the city called Aachen,
Okay.
and when I joined Aachen, I mean, I've always been living something like here we call it a VG, which is basically a shared apartment. So you share your room with other roommates, and you guys have I mean, I have a separate room, but the kitchen, bathroom, and everything, these things are shared.
Sure.
And generally, I would say that for a student, it is slightly difficult to get an accommodation, but once you start earning, it becomes easier. I don't know, like people start looking at you differently.
Like normally in UAE, you need to pay some advances. You need to pay 3 months like in advance
Oh,
and all. So will there be similar kind in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Germany?
Yes, yeah. Here, like generally, the advances are around 1 to 2 months of the rent. Yeah, some of the owners are not that good though. They like after the end of your contract, they give out some reason to cancel a certain amount from your deposit.
Yeah, yeah.
And like Germany runs on contracts. If you want to like leave your room in the middle, then you'll have to find a search for another room, a tenant who wants to live here, and again you have to search for an accommodation where you want to go. So this is a bit of a hassle over here, which I found like too stressful most of the times.
And regarding this visa and all, like my visa is for like particularly for 2 years, and I need to renew it for every 2 years like that. So how is your visa thing there?
Generally, you apply for an initial visa, which is for a period of either 3 months or six
Yeah,
months.
3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months or 6 months. And like I applied for a 6 month visa. And the moment I joined Germany, I need to apply for my resident permit. And depending on your university, you would either get a 1 year extension or a 2 year extension. I luckily got a 2 year extension. And
Okay,
this
good.
2 years is from the end of my 6 month visa. So I got a total of 2.5 years of time before I need to apply for a visa again.
Okay, okay. So you don't have any university residential halls or university dorms and all there?
Yeah, that's the worst part about at least RWTH Aachen. That's the worst part about it because being such a big university, they still don't have any student dorms and the thing. Yeah, but it's somewhat understandable because the strength of the college is around 10,000, and like when RWTH was first built, it was built like somewhat in the middle of the city, but the university wanted to grow, and the city was around it. So it started its buildings on different parts of the city. So like the
Yeah.
university spread throughout the city, and yeah, that's why like and yeah, during the first semester we used to have physical classes, and like sometimes I had to catch a bus if I wanted to visit another class, and that's how it used to be. Yeah, there are certain student benefits though. There's something called a semester card, which allows you free travel on buses and certain types of trains, and throughout the state of NRW. throughout
Okay.
the state, throughout the state,
Hmm.
and also certain parts of Netherlands and Belgium. So that's one good thing.
Yeah. So I think you will be having some student card to travel and all.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. That's the one I was talking about.
Okay.
And yeah, the situation of student dorms is also not that good though. The thing is, like, you have a waiting list, and that waiting list can run up along 8 months. I mean, like, if you apply, if you register right now, you may get a room only after like 6 to 8 months.
So
And the thing
so
is,
you
like,
are saying that there are like some student dorms, but maybe very less compared to the strength of the students in RWTI Athens. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And they don't belong to the university; they are like separate student dorms.
Okay.
And yeah, it takes around 8 months. And the thing is, like, they don't contact you, you need to contact them. Like, if your waiting list is low and you need a room immediately. And uh, and the thing is, like, even after getting a call, you have an interview. Like, you have an interview just for getting a room over there. And like,
Oh.
that's the horrible part. Like, that's the worst part. And yeah,
Okay, you need to clear that interview.
that's
It's
the thing.
very funny.
Like, the interview is between the current tenants who are living over there,
Okay.
and and you, and like, they want to see whether you fit properly into their apartments, and like you
Okay.
will be able to mingle with them
I
properly.
think in
And
one sense it may be good. Yeah, they may be knowing initially. Yeah.
I don't think it is good in any way though, because like, most of the students, they, especially international students outside of Germany, they already have a hard time mingling, like, getting into the culture right away. Like, getting an accommodation is already difficult, and like, this interview process making it even difficult. Like, what I was saying is that international students already have a hard time finding an accommodation, and like, these apartment services, they make it even harder by allowing an interview process. And a general complaint against Indian students is that, like, while cooking, they use a lot of spices, and that yeah, creates a lot of aroma, which
Yeah.
the international students are not used to.
So how you are managing? Are you cooking? Like I have seen that your status is you are cooking chicken, fried, and all everything. So like
Yeah.
how you are managing these things?
Like, I mean, the second time that I moved in Aachen to a different apartment, uh, most of like, all of my roommates were Indians, so that time I didn't have any problem. And later, when I moved once again, yeah, I think, like, if you inform, like, if you talk with your roommates once, and like, if you inform them that, like, let them know that if they have any problem.
Say then coming to this courses and all, like how many credits you need to clear to get master's degree there? Is there any requirement for like thesis? Like you need to submit some papers or publish some papers. Is there any requirement there for masters?
So, like, RWTH is a technical university, and technical universities, as far as I've heard, are much more research oriented. And the thing in my course is that I have 120 credits, and like,
Okay.
each course is around 4 to 6 credits each course.
Okay.
And so, I mean, by the time I finish my course, I would be giving at least 16, I think 17 subjects.
Okay.
And 17 subjects are like a bit too much for a 2 year course. And
Yes.
apart
Yes.
from that, I need to finish my master thesis as well. Yeah, there's no requirement of like publishing a research paper or anything. Those are for PhDs though. Like, if you want to finish a PhD, and it's not like an official requirement, but generally they prefer, like, if you submit your research papers, you have a better chance of completing your PhD, something like that.
To know like after going from triple IT bachelor's to RWTH masters, so what do you feel like you have specialized in something, like you can say proudly that I have specialized in this thing, I know this thing, like what is that thing related
Oh,
to your project, or like what
yeah.
work you are doing, like some things you might have learned new things there.
It's kind of hard to say. Like, coming to my bachelor's, our mechanical engineering course was not core mechanical, right? It was some like, there was a lot of electronics into it, and that
Designing,
was
yeah.
particularly good. Yeah, that was particularly good for me, and I got to learn like a lot of mechatronics. And like, coming over here, I had to do a lot of programming though, like, literally a lot of programming, because I yeah, because like, I had subjects like machine learning, basically programming. a lot of
Okay.
programming. And I would generally say that your technical skill requirements they keep updating over the years. Like if you look at yourself, if you look at the current job market after 5 years, you might be requiring a lot of different skills. So I would generally say that my personal best skill would be like to quickly adapt to any given situation. Like whatever is necessary, I should be able to learn, and I'm able to learn. That would be my best skill. I mean, I would not say that I am a master of any particular technical skill. It's just that your attitude, your attitude should be a bit open-minded and
Yeah.
being able
You're
to
learning to
learn.
through the process and all. Each step
Exactly.
you're learning and all. You're evolving. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like coming to your next after masters and all, are you planning for any PhD program or like job? You want to go for job? What's your
Yeah, my interest would be industry towards jobs because like since the past 1.5 years or more than 1.5 years, the moment I study for exams, like I literally hate the academic world. Like I hate studying for exams, man. Like literally, I hate studying for exams. So like
okay?
yeah, I and initially I always had an industry to always had an interest towards industry, like towards getting a job, and that's why I've always preferred jobs as well. And like for PhD programs, I would say in Europe's pursuing a PhD can be extremely stressful. Like I have a few PhD friends over there, and they always work overtime.
Yeah, yeah.
Generally, they get paid for 5 hours per day,
okay.
but they are supposed to work for 8 hours. But they generally end up working for 10 or 11 hours. So that's how it is, and they work on weekends as well. So that's how stressful research life is in Europe, especially in Germany.
Personally, I say that if somebody is having like a lot of interest in doing research or PhD, then only I will suggest that he should go for PhD. Otherwise, he should skip that mind. He should not keep that thing in mind. Going for PhD just for some stipend or like some other thing. But if you are not made your mind for PhD or research, you should not come for PhD. You should go for job. You should do. You can find very good jobs outside in market and all.
Yeah, definitely. Like PhDs are they are like kind of a way of life. You should be very committed to it if you are planning to finish it on time.
Yeah. So, what is the future scope you are expecting in Germany? Like, what type of like jobs and all? How are the jobs and all there in Germany?
Generally, I would say that the job market is much more diverse. Like you get a lot of job prospects. I mean, you have a lot of job prospects, several opportunities. But the last 7 to 8 months, like since the last year of October, the situation has been really bad though. Like even I had a very hard time finding an internship or at least an internship call. It was very tough, and mainly it
Maybe
was
this is
because of
because of this Corona, I think. Yeah.
exactly
Maybe
yeah,
this
it
is
was
because
because
of
of
Corona.
corona.
Yeah.
The general global demand reduced, and due to that, many companies had a hiring freeze, so they were not taking in new people, and that created a lot of problems, man. Like really a lot of problems. But yeah, right now the corona restrictions are being lifted up, and I think the situation will be much better in the coming months and years.
What range of salaries you will be getting there in Germany? So, if you did some masters
Uh,
there,
yeah, so like the entry salaries can be somewhere around like 48 to 60, somewhere 48 to 60,000 euros per annum, and yeah, that would be the general range. And maybe like if you go into the right stream, something related to yeah, basically related to computer science. If you go towards the right stream, you can probably become a program or a project manager in 6 years, and maybe try to get a salary of somewhere between 90 to 100,000 per annum.
so it will be like
And
in yen rupees. How many? How much rupees it will be there?
like 1 euro is currently around 85. Actually, I've not checked it though. It should be somewhere between 80 to 90 rupees. And
Okay,
so
okay.
you can, but yeah, I think like comparing it that way would not be correct though, because in Germany, naturally, the expenses are also higher.
Hmm.
So you should look at how much you would be saving, how much amount you would be saving,
Yes.
and I would say it would be somewhere between 70,000 to 1 lakh.
Okay.
Initially, at least initially. Initially,
You
you
will
would
be
be
saving
able
this much
to save.
amount.
Yeah, you would be saving this much amount per month.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I have covered a lot of questions. So coming to the end, so do you have any advice you want to give to the upcoming students like who are willing to apply for masters in Germany?
Uh, Not just in Germany, but anywhere. Like if people want to pursue their masters, I would suggest to be very sure of what you want to do and why you want to do specifically. Please don't do it just because others are doing it. Understand why do you want to do it. Maybe it could be like improving your career or climbing the like jumping the career ladder, or maybe you want to go pursue your research interests, or maybe you want to switch your career or go into towards a different stream. Masters would be like a good option. And especially if you're coming to Germany, make sure that you will be learning the language within 1 year, and also make sure that you will start doing a project right away when you come over here, because German experience has, I mean, like German experience, even it can be a student job, like a technical experience, has much more value compared to your Indian experience.
So when you come back to India, so you will be getting some like very good job here, or like you are planning in Germany only?
Currently, I'm like very unsure. I don't know what I'll do after 5 years. My personal interests are going towards the startup market and see how things work out. But yeah, like there are many of my friends who want to go back to India like after 5 6 years, and yeah, like if they have a 5 year experience in Germany, it has a lot of value throughout the world, and but yeah, they can really earn a good salary if they return to India.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you once again for joining us. I think it's the end of our video. So take care till then. So viewers who like this video, kindly subscribe to this channel, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day.
Yeah, yeah.